Hey guys, so sorry, but I've got a short one for you today. Installing my new shelving took way more time than I anticipated. Let's just say that I've been at it about 14 hours already, and it's still not done. It will be a few days before I can actually freely walk around this room, and I have literally nowhere to set my light box currently because of it. So I'm going to have to do another video that's, oops, all internet pictures again. And I only grabbed images of 5 figures because I needed to keep this one short, so I eventually finished these shelves before I have to make the next video. For the question of the video, would you like to see the discussions with my brother where I show him Transformers toy lines become a weekly thing? But onto the reveals. So, I kind of confused people with the last video on this because I didn't include a segment on Core Class Iguanas or Hot Rod, when they'd already been announced. The answer for that is kind of a simple and stupid one. Last time, I wanted to cover Fan First Friday, so I only talked about the stuff that was in that Triple F video Hasbro put out. This time, I'm just talking about whatever, so I can now look at Iguanas. And what I'm seeing here with Iguanas is really good. I mean, he's got some pretty colors going on. Red, purple, black, gold. If this isn't a render and it's actually what the figure looks like in person, this is going to be one of the most eyeball-punching core classes released, and I'm here for that. Its gun is stupid, and I think most of us already know why, but for those who don't, it's because they are making all the core classes from the first wave of Legacy come with weapons that combine into a shitty dagger for Hot Rod. It's supposed to be a sword, but it's like 95% crossguard and hilt, so it's just a terrible idea, and they are compromising all 3 figures to do this. Outside that, I can say that the posing on this looks better than average for a core class, even getting ball-jointed ankles with sideways tilts, though it does look like there's no head movement. Unfortunately, while the alt mode doesn't look terrible, it's more suggestive of a motorcycle than something that actually looks like one, and I can't tell how you're supposed to ride this. Like, is the gun supposed to be the handlebars? Because that would mean that they're mounted way above the windshield. And they're kind of pointing straight back, so that would make for an incredibly awkward riding experience. I don't dislike this mold, but if it just had a set of pegs sticking straight out here, it would look loads better. Then we got Legacy Hot Rod, who already comes with a reasonable enough sword. Like seriously, why are the other 2 figures in the line sacrificing their accessories to give Hot Rod a sword with a less comfortable handle? That said, this might be the first core class I'm not really excited by the look of. I mean, 1, it's pretty clear it's going to faux form because that's just his windshield and hood folded up behind his feet, but 2, this really looks like a step back to the Legends class style figures of 2016 or 2017. Core class has so far been a real upgrade on what Legends used to be, having better proportions and more striking designs. But while old Legends class was fun, this does look like it's going back to its more off-model sculpts. Also, I've seen pictures of this thing from the back, and saying that Hot Rod is a no-thoughts, head-empty kind of boy is an understatement on this figure. Looking at this, I can tell you exactly how it's going to transform. The legs are going to do like 70% of the work, as they're going to sideways combiner wars in at the knee, the kibble on them is going to form the whole front of the car, the arms are going to hinge up at the shoulders, and the backpack is just going to swing down. Outside of Soundwave, whose transformation was obvious for obvious reasons, I'm not used to Core Class's whole transformation scheme being apparent at a glance. Is it just me, or does his collar look like an angry cat? Scratch that, turn that purple, and is he knocking off my logo? All mode looks okay, probably better than Starscream, probably worse than all the rest. Then let's talk about the firestorm I kicked up on Twitter the other day when I said that this looks terrible. I was not expecting that kind of pushback when I said that. I thought maybe 7 to 15 people would like the tweet and then it would immediately be forgotten. But then I was just inundated with angry responses telling me how wrong I am, and that it looks exactly as it should, and that it looks better than the original figure, and that I can't criticize it as it's just a prototype. First up, let me just say that if you like what you see here, you can't be wrong for liking what you like. If you disagree with me, I hope you never stop enjoying what you see there. But let me tackle those points in order. 1. No, it does not look as it should. As goofy as the old toy was, it was the thing the show was based directly on. The show had the head sticking out of the top of the alt mode. The show had the arms angled back as bracers for the cap. The show didn't have this void behind his shoulders. So it actually looks less like it should than the original toy. Then people said it looks better. I fully disagree. Yes, the original toy was goofy, but it didn't have these weird awkward gaps all over the place, where the arms don't meet with the back, the shoulders don't meet each other, and the sides don't meet the grill. These are all absolutely hideous. And lastly, yes, I can criticize this prototype. The finished product is going to look exactly like this, just in color. I guarantee it. Remember the Masterpiece 3.0 Starscream? That was half as far along as this is when we first saw images of that thing. And the only difference that thing had between the prototypes and now is that in the meantime, he got some panel lines and a face. This is 99% the finished product we are already looking at here. They are just waiting for paint at this point. And to be clear, this is not a criticism of the robot mode, which is pretty much on point, or the combined mode, which looks just how you'd want, though the head seems a little strange. This is just me saying that the alt mode is really ugly. And you can't contradict me saying that by telling me how it's not going to look like that when the figure is released, because that's not proving me wrong. I'm saying that this, as it is, right now, in this picture, that I am seeing with my eyes, and am showing you, this looks bad. Maybe it will be good when it's released, but this here looks bad now. Now let's move on to a figure I'm entirely prepared to say doesn't look as good as it should because it's not finished. And at the same time, something truly interesting from a company I didn't expect to see again, at least not in this form. Deformation Space is doing a blaster. I did not see them taking on Blaster as their second mold. I'm not sure what I expected, but it wasn't this. I've never handled a third-party blaster, and I've only ever seen like one review of the KFC blaster, so I don't really have an idea if the market really needs this guy. But these pictures don't make him look all that appealing, and it's entirely the render's fault. When I first saw this, I didn't even realize it was Deformation Space. I was just scrolling through new figure reveals and ran past this thinking it was a new Legends figure. I mean, can you blame me? Look at this thing. Details are incredibly sparse, and those render colors. Yeesh, they look like some shitty plastic. Like, it doesn't look like a render, it looks like it was made out of terrible plastic. It's just realistic in all the wrong ways, and it gives the figure a much worse impression than it probably will have IRL. It looks really posable, though it seems like it has no waist swivel, but I can't tell if in this picture he's got an upper torso swivel, an ab crunch, or just his waist meets his pecs at a ball joint, but maybe this will suffice our burning needs. He's got that customary transform element Deformation Space cleanliness that leaves you wondering where you're supposed to start the transformation, so there's probably going to be, once again, an alien step that locks everything together so you have to do that first just so you can start the transformation of this guy. It's very effective what they do with that, but I must profess I hate that aspect of their figures. His ram horn looks great, as does his alt mode, though I do feel like I've seen more cohesive looking boomboxes from their competition. I think what this is going to try to compete on is its posability and cleanliness in robot mode, because I doubt they're going to beat the other companies in transformation enjoyment and alt mode. Now this is the last figure I saw, and I just knew I had to include it, even if it doesn't appeal to most of you, because when I saw it, I had to save the images for this under the name Sex Rod. Oh fuck dude, that looks so cool! For everyone who complains that I only like G1, this is not G1, and it is so much better for it. Oh, it's so cool, it hurts! I'm even digging the Digidegrade shins. How's it doing that? I know I always gripe about Japanese aesthetics glommed onto the Transformers, but this is that done right. Yes, it's heavily based on the Alex Milne designs from IDW, but they have absolutely taken this in a more anime-inspired direction. Hot Rod is normally not a big shoulder pads guy, but they really work for him, I think even better than the ones he's originally supposed to have. And to be clear before any of you get your hopes up too far, this is a non-transforming figure. Bummer, I know. Even the best of those are missing some level of satisfaction, but it still looks so cool. I kind of love what they did with the gun here. They made it look like a guitar. Sword's also really cool with how they made the beam emitter a handguard, and it's such a hefty chopper. I don't normally pick up non-transforming figures, but I'm after this one. I just hope it's not like, $400. And to be clear, I think everything here is worth wanting, even if I say the Energon Prime's alt mode looks really bad. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.